This is the SF Productions Podcast Network.
Forget Kirk and Picard, how about Shatner versus Pine?
From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. You can check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Wife to Read Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com. Well, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek Into Darkness movie is hitting theaters on May 17th.
Yay! I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure why it was so long since the last movie, or the first movie. Apparently there was no script written for the second movie when the first one came out. Apparently they didn't think this would be a hit.
Do you think that they have the third movie all set to go now?
I would hope so, because it's been like 4 years, I believe, since the first movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, now, IMDb says the villain's name is Khan. I'm not convinced. I think that's just to throw people off.
Yes, I think so too.
I'm pretty convinced it's Gary Mitchell.
Well, because they are now saying in some of the previews, and he's one of ours, you know, so...
Yeah,
I don't know.
Also noted in IMDb that Jimmy Doohan's son has a small role in the movie, and he's also been seen in that New Voyages web series.
Is it a role that we would recognize him in, or is it a named role?
Like transporter guy.
Chief one or something? Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
But the big question here is, who has the better cast? The original 60s TV series or the new Abrams movie series? So
I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to compare them.
Yeah. Well, let's try. First, Kirk, Shatner versus Pine. So I think Shatner certainly has more authority as a captain.
But he is older already.
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know, even in the continuity, as a captain, Captain Kirk is older in the movie, or in the original series.
Right. Chris Pine seems more like a frat boy or a cowboy.
But he does seem like maybe what Kirk would have been like at that age, even if he'd been played by Shatner at a younger age.
I suppose. I just can't ever see this guy ever becoming an admiral.
No. Well, quite frankly, I can't see him becoming a captain, even in the circumstances he did. All
right. Spock. We have Nimoy versus Quinto. I can't get Quinto's role from Heroes out of my mind.
I don't know. I like him a lot as Spock. I don't have a problem with it.
He's certainly much more confrontational than Nimoy ever was.
And maybe it's because I like this Spock better, you know, because he's got like a vulnerable side.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So McCoy is Kelly versus Urban. I think it's a wash because Keith Urban is basically doing a spot-on DeForest Kelley impression.
Yes, it is great. I think that's the person I like the best, just because he is most like the original series.
It's very impressive.
Yes.
Scotty, Doohan versus Peg. Peg is just too much comic relief for me.
And I think a lot of people think that in the original series that Scotty was comic relief as well.
But he got serious moments.
He had serious moments. He was comic, but not a comedian.
Right.
I don't know.
I just think that Simon Pegg is just playing it way too broad.
And he's not really a Starfleet person. I mean, he is in Starfleet.
Yes.
But the original Scotty was a Starfleet guy through and through.
Right.
He'd been on the starships.
Right.
He was a starship engineer.
Right.
And this character is not.
Right. He just kind of shows up in the first movie. Uhura, Nichols versus Saldana. Certainly, Saldana gets to do so much more than Nichelle Nichols ever did on the original series. And then, of course, you have the relationship with Spock, which is a very a major right turn from the original series.
I thought it was really neat seeing her at the Academy and actually giving her a real role.
Right.
Uhura.
Right.
And I think maybe that's why I'm liking Zoe Saldana a little bit more. Because she's actually more defined as a person in this role than Nichelle Nichols ever was.
Yeah. And I think if you look at like the first, say, dozen episodes of the original series, there was some indication that there might have been a relationship between the two of them. And then they just kind of dropped that after a while.
Yeah.
Little tiny hints of something that might have happened in the continuity, and now Abrams has really taken that forward. Sulu, Takei versus Cho.
Well, I just love John Cho. I mean, I just love him in everything that he's in. So.
And he certainly, again, has a much larger role than George Takei had. And again, if you look at the first, say, dozen episodes of the original series, the Sulu role had some more things to do. But as you went forward into the rest of the series,
where they really went with the big 3 stars.
Exactly. It ended up being the big 3, and then everybody else was very much in some minor side role somewhere. Chekhov, then. Koenig versus Yelchin.
It's kind of a wash so far because we haven't really seen much of him.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I just wonder if they're going to keep the core crew throughout the whole movie series, or if they might actually, you know, be daring and kill off one of those.
Well, that would be, again, when you look at the first movie, they took that major change and said, oh yeah, we're blowing up Vulcan.
We're getting rid of Kirk's mom, or not Kirk's mom, but Spock's mom.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Right, and so that is so much of a huge change. I think Abrams would be willing to do that. I assume they're all signed up for multiple sequels. I mean, I would have, certainly, when I do a contract like this.
Yeah, but you got to wonder, because especially like Zoe Saldana, who's getting a lot of other work.
Right.
You know, maybe she won't want to stay, and they could recast the role, or they could kill her off.
That's possible.
You know, even if she signed up for 3 movies or whatever, there also has to be, I would think, some sort of a time frame involved in that. Like, if they can't get the movies made in 6 years...
Right.
You know,
I have to assume the third one, assuming there is a third one, which I think is a pretty good bet, is going to have to be a lot quicker than 4 years. That's just way too long between them.
Right. So.
I also wanted to note that if you want to get some more of the Abrams continuity, that flavor, if you read comic books, IDW has a Star Trek ongoing series where they're rewriting the original series episodes within the J.J. Abrams continuity.
And I sort of wonder if some of the opinions I've expressed in this podcast might be reflected from some of what we've read in addition to the movie, because, you know, they've been doing some good character development in there.
Right, and there was also a prequel miniseries that just, I don't know if it's finished or not. I believe it's finished.
It is.
The prequel to the upcoming movie. So again, that's out on May 17th. So you can check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Way Through Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com.
From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. Thanks for watching.